online, on the TuneIn app, and on your smart speaker. Play Shock Radio.
This is Shock
News.
It's 10 to 12 and this is your Shock News Update on Sunday the 7th of December. I'm Alfie Mulcahy. Young people on benefits will be offered jobs in construction, social care and hospitality to try and stem the rise in youth unemployment. £820 million worth of funding has been announced, which can be used for training and work experience. But Shadow Work and Pensions Secretary Helen Waitley says this is a sticking plaster on an issue of the government's making.
I talk to lots of employers who say to me, because of Labour's taxes, they aren't able to employ young people. They can't afford to employ young people, or they can't take a risk on young people. So that's what the government should first and foremost be fixing.
The Work and Pensions Secretary says doing nothing should not be an option for unemployed young people who aren't in education or training.
Shock News Update.
The Tories don't think the Chancellor's tightening of Motability rules last month went far enough. Kemi Badenoch wants to restrict those with mental health disorders from being eligible for the scheme, designed to help disabled people get a car. She'll use a speech next week to argue that welfare just isn't working. Dr. Lade Smith is president of the Royal College of Psychiatrists.
We need to understand what's really going on here. So we don't know if there's overdiagnosis, but we do know that there are more risk factors for mental illness, and we do know that there are lots of people who don't get diagnosed as they should.
Shock News Update.
Volodymyr Zelensky will visit Downing Street tomorrow for a meeting with Sir Keir Starmer. French President Emmanuel Macron and German Chancellor Friedrich Merz will also attend the gathering, where they'll discuss Russia's war with Ukraine. Sky's political correspondent Maria Aurora says the Ukrainian leader will be seeking support from the other European allies.
Zelensky is essentially going to be updating some of these European partners on what's going to be going on, but also lobbying European allies to really hear his side of things.
Shock News Update.
Also today, the London Ambulance Service have declared a significant incident at Heathrow Airport. Emergency services, including armed officers and fire crews, are at the scene in the multi-storey car park at Terminal 3. Sky's correspondent Emma Birchley says it's causing significant disruption to transport and that people should check online before they travel. A new suspected case of blue tongue has been detected at a second farm in County Down. Northern Ireland's Department of Agriculture says it was identified close to Grey Abbey. A case was confirmed last week close to Bangor. The disease affects livestock but not humans or food safety. A countryside charity claims the government's so-called Grey Belt is paving the way for large-scale development on England's unspoiled rural land. Disused petrol stations and car parks were the examples given when the policy was introduced last year. Analysis from the Campaign to Protect Rural England suggests 88% of homes given permission under the policy will be built on previously undeveloped countryside. And at least 25 people have died after a fire at a nightclub in a popular district of Goa. Authorities in the western Indian states say flames broke out just after midnight local time on Sunday at a venue in the Airpora area. The local government has ordered an inquiry. And with all this morning's sport news, here's Colin Beasley.
Mohamed Salah has hinted next week's Premier League game at home to Brighton could be his last for Liverpool. The Egypt international says he feels like he's been thrown under the bus and has no relationship with Arne Slot after being an unused substitute in the 3-3 draw at Leeds. Speaking before the interview, the Liverpool boss tells Sky Sports News he didn't feel like Salah was required on this occasion.
Normally, when you need a goal, like last week against Sunderland, I brought Mo in. Today it felt to me that we needed different players like Wata. I've brought him in many times when we needed to bring the wing over the line, and he gave everything, I think, what I could expect from him.
Leaders Arsenal suffered a first defeat since August as title rivals Aston Villa beat them 2-1. Unai Emery's side are now 3 points adrift of their opponents. Manchester City closed to within 2 points of the summit with their 3-0 victory at home to Sunderland. Tottenham secured just their second home league win of the season as they Burnley beat Brentford 2-0. Rangers are within 6 points at the top of the Scottish Premiership following a 3-0 win at Kilmarnock. They're back up to 4th, just behind Motherwell, who got past bottom side Livingston by the same score. Leaders Hearts go to nearest challengers Celtic this afternoon. Scotland fans will have to endure some late nights to support their team at the World Cup next summer. Their first game of the tournament is against Haiti in Boston at 2 a.m. UK time on the 14th of June. Their clash with Morocco will also be in the same city before they face Brazil in Miami, both starting at 11 p.m. England begin their campaign against Croatia in Dallas at 9 p.m. UK kickoff time on the 17th of June. Lando Norris will be crowned Formula One World Champion for the first time this afternoon if he finishes the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix in the top 3. The British driver will start from second on the grid. Title rival Max Verstappen is on pole, with Oscar Piastri, who can also lift the trophy, third. And Rugby Union Prem leaders Bath made a winning start to the season's European Champions Cup by thrashing Munster by 40 points to 14. Saracens began their pool stage campaign with an emphatic 47-10 win at home to Clermont.
Thank you, Colin. An update on the Ashes. Australia have won the second test by 8 wickets to take a 2-0 lead over England in the 5-match series. They chased down a second innings target of 65 runs in Brisbane after bowling England out to 41. The test gets underway in Adelaide next Thursday.
Shock News Update.
Let's have a look at the stories making the Sunday papers, starting with The Observer. They show a full-page picture of Sir Keir Starmer saying the defiant Prime Minister will fight on despite recent criticism. But the Sunday Telegraph says the Prime Minister could face a huge blow as the Unite Union is reported to be considering splitting from the party. In an Express exclusive, it's claimed dozens of foreign nationals linked to terrorism or other extremism need to be monitored constantly because human rights laws are preventing their deportation. Changes to jury trials return to the front of the Times this morning as David Lammy's been accused by senior barristers of skewing figures about the number of rape cases that collapse. The Mirror says schemes to help people during COVID pandemic were abused by people who racked up £11 billion worth of fraudulent costs that the taxpayer footed. The Mail on Sunday has spoken exclusively to Thomas Markle, who's begged daughter Meghan to see him again. This comes after news she'd reached out to him following an operation he'd needed. And the MEN on Sunday is leading with the ongoing development of the former Kendall's department store in the centre of Manchester, led by Gary Neville's development company.
Shock News Update.
And finally, health leaders warn as many as 8,000 people could need hospital care before flu infections reach their peak this year. The virus has come early this season and hit harder because of a mutated and stronger strain. The UK Health Security Agency says it's circulating among younger patients and fears the impact on vulnerable groups. Professor Julian Redhead is from NHS England.
Clearly, it's the most vulnerable population that we're really worried about. And what happens for them often is it's the effect of the flu, but they can also get bacterial infections on top of that and end up with things like pneumonia, which can be really, really serious.
Shock weather.
A bright start for most today, but quickly turning increasingly cloudy as a band of rain pushes northeastwards. Feeling milder than recent days, expect maximum temperatures of 12 degrees. Well, that's all from me today. Your next bulletin on Shock Radio will be tomorrow morning on the Molehill. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. It's time for some non-stop Shockmas.
It's finally here! Break out your baubles and get ready to jingle your bells. It's time for Shockmas!